the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche. We're on the run, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights up, done with my own doubts.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to our TikTok show. And today is the last episode that we'll be having for this season. So please stay tuned and listen to what we have to discuss today. Now, with the COVID-19 pandemic causing global unemployment figures to rise, a recent survey suggests that two-thirds of the workers are using their time to reevaluate their career choices. Now, in the same report, 70% of workers said that they are considering changing career paths entirely, with just over half driven by the desire to either challenge themselves or learn a new skill set. Many are now considering the value of higher education that has to offer when it comes to lifelong learning, improved skill set, and network opportunities. It's completely justified to question whether it's right to pursue a degree during these uncertain times and also a postgraduate study. So please grab your coffee, grab your snack, and sit back and relax as we look at some insights from experienced Razakians on pursuing postgraduate studies during a pandemic. Online learning can be challenging, but it will help you create more connections and gather more skills to expand career possibilities. Catch our esteemed speakers as they speak on student-teacher perspective on the success that postgraduate programs bring. Our topic today is studying for a postgraduate degree during a pandemic, a student-teacher perspective and insights for success. And we will share more with you about this soon. So first up, let's have our corporate video up and let's have a look more about UniReza. Hi, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our lovely, lovely speakers for today. Welcome, Prof, and also two students of Uni Raza. Now, before we move forward to with our discussion, let me introduce each one of you to the public. So, first of all, familiar face, I'm going to introduce Professor Dr. Sri Roland Xavier, a professor at Graduate School of Business, and he has over 25 years of successful corporate and business experience in addition to 11 years in tertiary education and facilitation. Since researching and authoring the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor report in 2012, he went on to win the National Outstanding Researcher Award Entrepreneurship 2015 and was the finalist for the National Outstanding Educator Award 2018. He is also an effective trainer and consultant to blue chip corporates, and his students have become successful business owners. He is the subject matter expert in the field of entrepreneurship policy, small business management, innovation management, and international business. Welcome, Prof, to the show.
It's nice seeing you.
Okay, all right. Next up, we have Muhammad Aizad bin Noran, student master of business administration leadership. And he is currently working as a business development, in the business development management, which is my estate company, and was involved to develop an e-commerce platform from business models to the creation of a structure for the business. Planning for the succession includes awareness campaign, business proposal decks, and strategize the business flow. His previous education was in mass communication, in public relation, and now pursuing business administration for his postgraduate studies. Welcome, Aizad.
Hello.
Oh,
Hi. Thank you
hi,
for
hi.
having me.
Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Okay, and finally, I'd like to introduce Mr. Daniel Wong. He is a Uniraza student for Masters of Business Administration. He is currently a service operations specialist for one of the largest Japanese electronics company that manufactures computers, computer printers, and information and imaging related equipment. He is primarily support. He primarily supports the product team and pre and post sales of all the products. On some weekends, he enjoys badminton and hiking, and on other weekends, he gives back to the community, suited up as Stormtrooper from Star Wars. He is now a final year student in Uniraza pursuing MBA with hopes not only to accelerate in his career growth, but also for personal development. Welcome, Daniel.
Hi, good evening.
Hi,
Hi,
good
good evening.
evening. Okay, all right. So there we have it. Two amazing students who are pursuing a master program, and also our professor here to answer any questions that you may have about doing a postgraduate study in this pandemic that we are going through right now. And today we have, I think, over 20,000 cases today. So right. I know it is been, some of you have, it's been a long week. So we're going to wind down and we're going to tackle Prof. Roland first, and we'll be asking him some questions. Now, in the moment that we are in, why do we encourage people to pursue their postgraduate studies? What are the benefits of getting a master's? And a lot of people think that pursuing a postgraduate is leads to being an academician only, but will it open up to more possibilities in other fields? Over to you, Prof.
All right, thank you, Grace, for that very good question. Um, the point is, I think there are two things to be answered in that question, Grace. One is the issue of benefits, right? What are the benefits of getting a master's? The other point in that question that needs to be addressed is the issue of career paths. And these are good questions when we talk about postgraduate education, right? Now, as far as benefits are concerned, certainly there are many, right? Why? If you look at the standard replies, you talk about enhancing employability, you talk about opportunity to specialize, you talk about people uh, broadening their intellectual interests, um, an opportunity to progress their career. Some of them talk in terms of it's a form of personal achievement, even. So, benefits are usually like that. But if you permit me, I would like to share with you and maybe the audience a story, a very real story about a student. And this is a student in Yemen, in Sana'a. As you know, Sana'a is going through a lot of challenges these days. So before before the war, it just so happened that I would go for an outreach program where we would teach in Sana'a University of Science and Technology in Sana'a in Yemen. And then there are many MBA students, of course, and there's this young lady called Suhaila. See, Suhaila was doing her masters, and she faced a lot of challenges because it's a fairly conservative culture, conservative society, if you like. But she was very hardworking. Now, what happened? After she completed and she did well, she went on to further her studies in the United States, right? And she did her doctoral studies. And from there, using what she's learned in her master's, she went on to do a lot of different research and gain a lot of information to support Yemen. And how did she support Yemen? She supported them by influencing their policy decision making, right? And that was done through her research. And using those numbers, she used it to support their case before the United Nations, and that way raise funding for Yemen, for the Yemenis. So you can see the larger benefit of a master's education. She was able to influence policy and as a result, even gain funding to the United Nations for many people, for thousands of people, she's able to assist and help them, right? So my point is the benefits of a master's can be as simple as improving just your career. It can be larger than that, right? For sure, right? If you look at the big picture. So that's just one actual story, real life story that I could share with you because I used to teach there. The other thing is, I think that you were asking is about the other benefit is the topics during
Mm.
discussions, guys. The topics are many and very current. And in an MBA class, you get a multidimensional point of view. You get the student's view, right? Sometimes you may have several different professors involved in some panel, right, who are discussing one single issue. So it's multidimensional. So these are the things that enhance the learning, if you like, right? Uh, the other thing is the MBA program, or usually most postgraduate programs are, how should I say, practical. They're really hands-on. They're about your company, where you're working, what you're doing right now. What is your problem you're facing? So as Grace rightly mentioned, we're going through great challenges. So what better place to be than in a classroom where everyone is thinking and finding ways and means to solve that difficult problem, right? So in that sense, the benefits of a postgraduate education. The other point is about career pathways, right? So I'm not sure if you're aware. So career can be, well, what is my career opportunity? Where am I going to work? How much am I going to earn? Right? Career pathways. Am I going to get promoted? Right? But the word career, interestingly, has got two meanings. One is what I've said just now. The other word, the word career means to go off at a tangent, to career off. And a lot of people, after doing their postgraduate studies, they actually career off into something else. They career off and do something totally different. That's also possible, right? The point is, doing a master's program, a doctoral program, gives you many options, guys, right? To pursue something maybe of your own interest, something that you're passionate about, some innovation that you've been looking to create, something that you're looking to implement, perhaps, right? So a postgraduate is a lot more than just the academic studying, right? And I think a lot of our students in Uni Razak, especially our alumni, realize that, and that's really good. right? The point is, at the end of the day, uh, if you talk about career pathways, the issue of learning is lifelong, right? It's not just during the postgraduate, it just continues on and on, okay? And as to whether a postgraduate education can assist you really in career progression, well, I have another true story to share with you. Uni Razak is involved in the promotion evaluation exam of one of the top five largest Japanese multinational companies. We do the promotion evaluation exam, right? And in that exam, the things that we test mainly are the ability to discern and to evaluate. The discernment and the ability to evaluate is what determines candidates in this multinational, top five multinational global company to get promoted, right? And what does that mean? That means you must have the ability to communicate your ideas, your strategy, communicating it, evaluating. And these two things are key things that you study at a postgraduate level. So you see the very nice, if you like, convergence of needing this for your promotion and at the same time gaining this ability at the postgraduate level, right? So that's in a nutshell basically what the benefits are and what the career pathways might be, guys.
Mm. Okay, thank you so much, Prof. I think it's refreshing to know that it's not just about upskilling yourself. It's not just about enhancing your employability, but also about giving back and also being involved in things like you mentioned, Suhaila, getting involved in policy making and making an impact out there. So postgraduate study will definitely get you far. And we have with us two students who will hopefully testify to that. But let's get to know them a little. Mr. Aizad, you have various working experience in government sector as well as the private sector. You have a bachelor degree of mass communication and recently started your postgraduate study in MBA leadership here at Uniraza. So first of all, can I know why did you decide to do something different?
Okay. Well, most of my experiences are in the business field. I started my career as a business development executive, and I actually still am in the business development fields for 5 years now. Oh, Unirazak has so many to offer. I actually had a hard time choosing. There's MBA in service management, retail and hypermarket, leadership, human resource management, public policy, and many more. Well, for me, my opinion is there is no such thing as one person is limited to one field. For example, if you're in engineering, doesn't necessarily mean that you can't pursue business studies. I decided to pursue something different to understand the business field thoroughly. Uniraza actually helped me making that possible.
Right. So thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you for you've had so many choices, and I suppose that you pick something that you find value in terms of your career as well. Okay, Daniel, do you think studying while working is challenging? And how did the pandemic affect your daily life as a working adult who's also pursuing your master degree? Because if I'm not mistaken, you started your postgraduate studies with us before the pandemic hit, right? Just
Yes.
before, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Yeah,
about
go ahead.
November. Yeah. Yeah, so I started, I joined Uniraza in November 2019. So
Mhm.
I managed to join 2 semesters, which were in campus itself, and then the pandemic hit. Yeah, so as far as challenges, I'd say uh, switching from switching the classes from classroom to virtual, it was pretty easily adaptable because uh, it's, I'm used to it at office as well. So it's not really something new, but there were other challenges as well, like sometimes I do ask myself, why do I put the stress on myself because of the time constraints as well, juggling between work life and also studies. But to me, I think it's important to keep the eye on the prize, keep a level head, and keep staying positive. You'll eventually get there. That's why I keep telling myself. Uh, as for the other, I wouldn't say challenges, but some other positive outcomes that came from the pandemic. I guess I could save time on traveling from home to classes. So that gave me more time for studying as well to prepare for my classes. Uh, and also improve my time management skills. Yeah,
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thanks, Daniel. Now
yeah,
we'll get back to Prof. And as the students have mentioned, it can be challenging. So maybe you can also explain about how the pandemic affects learning, where students of all levels have to go through online learning. And we're talking about working adults. We're talking about students who have not used the, are not used to learning through online experience. They prefer the face-to-face experience. So how effective do you think online learning is, and how does it affect the quality of the knowledge that is delivered?
Thanks for that, Grace. 18 months ago, online would almost be an alien word, and everyone's like, we're not sure how this works. Initially, I was pretty skeptical as well, as I'm sure a lot of other, uh, uh, academicians and universities face a lot of challenges. But online learning surprisingly has got quite a few benefits. Uh, it saves a lot of time. Uh, it allows for in-depth discussion, guys. This is the most interesting thing. For those of you who may not have already gone into it in a big way, it allows for in-depth discussion, and that is very, very important. And because students now are literally face to face. I've never been so close to my students as one screen to the next. And so that was very interesting. At the end of the, and in addition to that, here's the interesting thing. Like here at Uni Razak, our lecturers are all Google trained. So we're using Kahoot, we're using Jamboard. Actually, technology already has, right, what is needed to conduct such things and to make it as real as possible, right, given the challenges, right, to interact with the students. And that's really what we want, right? So we are able to monitor, we are able to measure, and that's the key. If we can measure, then we can do, and we can make changes, and we can adjust. And that's exactly what Unirazak lecturers are doing right now, right? All Google trained. So that's very interesting, right? Now, as far as quality is concerned, you find that, what does that mean? That means the, the, the services that we offer has to meet the needs of the students, of industry, isn't it? That's what quality is, right? And so the point is, by you doing online learning, we can still meet that. We can still meet that requirement. Why? Because students today, here's the interesting thing, they do a lot more presentations than they ever did before, right? And students get more attention, literally almost one-to-one attention today, more than in a class of 30 or 40 students. Why? Because the lecturer, and this is from the lecturer's perspective, is available to them literally all the time, either through WhatsApp or through email, right, or through Instagram. Any method of communication there is, it's available, and it's available 24/7, literally, right? So students get assisted, get handhold almost all the way through, right? And there's a lot of feedback. Students, what they submit, and we can very quickly give them back some feedback so that they can make those changes, so that they can uh, uh, learn feedback allows them to learn. So those things are really happening despite the lack of human interaction, if you like, right? But the key point, guys, is that you need to have a solid platform, right? And Unirazak has got the UROX platform, right? It can be any platform, but in this case, we use UROX. UROX platform allows us to encapsulate all that is necessary in one place. That way, student gets their notes, student gets their feedback, students submit assignments, right? Students have discussion, literally all in one place, right? And so that makes the student efficiency higher, and in turn, it helps to improve the quality of the teaching and the learning. And that's my opinion. Right?
Mm. That's a really good perspective to it, because what you said is 100% correct. I've never been more connected with the students than ever. I usually, on pre-pandemic, I only see them once a week in class. But now we see them on Urox, we see on WhatsApp. They're always connecting, always writing, always very interested in, when the next class is, and looking at our recording and asking for notes. So I'm 100% with you on that. We are more connected to the students now than before. Also, students are the main stakeholders. So yeah, my next question would be to Aizad. We'll get to know you a bit more. Since you just started a master program this year, can you tell us what made you decide to pursue your postgraduate studies during a pandemic? And many said that this is the best time to further your studies, since flexible working hours from home gives you more freedom for online learning and other similar activities. So what's your take on this?
Okay, COVID-19 is devastating. It took millions of lives, and my condolences to the people directly affected by this pandemic, physically and mentally. It's just sad. These unprecedented times is when we as humans should reflect on our lives and be better. Well, I consider myself as a positive-minded individual. Most suggest that we lost almost 2 years of our lives because of COVID. While I personally felt that we have experienced the most important 2 years of our lives as a human being. Personally, for me, it taught me to keep myself closer to God, understand more about myself, understand more about life in general, bring me and my families closer. Okay, so back to the question. Studying for a postgraduate degree during a pandemic. Well, my perspective is, I completed my degree in 2016 in public relations. Shortly after I've had a year of experience, I started to. This was in 2017, I think, around that. I wanted to pursue my masters, but I got comfortable. I felt that degree is enough. But then at the end of 2019, COVID hit us. It started in the first quarter of 2020. I remember it vividly because February 2020 was the year I got married. Then COVID hit us. Mentally, the pandemic impacted me so much. I started to think, where am I? What am I doing with my life? Am I just going to stay home and wish that COVID didn't hit me or my family? That's when I decided, you know what? I have to live my life. Do the things I want to do. Don't put a pause on things and procrastinate. So a friend of mine, Shahizam, he's a student from Unirazak as well, recommended me to further my studies in Unirazak. So here I am, pursuing masters in business administration in leadership. Well, I feel that we owe it to the people that was affected by COVID to actually live our life, make full use of what we have now, and be better. Just don't put a pause on anything. Whatever you wanted to do in life, do it. We owe it to them. You want to succeed, just do what you want to do. That way, we can learn from our mistakes and be better every single time. And yes, I agree. This is definitely the time to pursue your studies, as most of us are working from home, and if not, the classes here in Unirazak is on weekends, and that is a convenience for me. Even if you wanted to have class on weekdays, it's doable, I think, depending on the lecturer's schedule. You just have to arrange it with them. The pandemic gave us the freedom of time. It is how well you manage it. For me, I decided to pursue my studies, and it has been a wonderful journey so far.
Okay, great. I really like what you said. Don't put a pause in life. because of the pandemic, if you have that ability, if you have that opportunity, then just grab the opportunity and go ahead. And like what you said, we owe it to those who didn't have the opportunity. So thank you for sharing that part. Mr. Daniel, to you, since you are now in your last year of your postgraduate study, congratulations for coming this far and having both experienced physical learning, face-to-face classes, as well as virtual learning. What are some of the differences that you noticed? Did you and your classmates have a hard time adjusting to the new normal last year?
Uh, in terms of adjusting, for me personally, it was a bit different. Like I said, I'm used to all this online virtual meetings or virtual trainings before, so it's not really much of a difference to me. But in terms of like for physical classes, I could understand that uh, physical classes would have that environment, that ambiance, or that feel, that you only can get in a classroom compared to a virtual classroom where you don't really get that because you are sort of still detached physically. Yeah, yeah. So to me, that was a bit challenging as because, yeah, I mean, I couldn't, or me and my classmates couldn't network properly as well. We don't get that physical interaction with everyone in class or even with the lecturer himself. Uh, with that being said, I would like to echo what Prof. Roland said earlier, whereby he said information right now is so easily available on Unirazad's platforms. So I think to me that's a huge. It's something that was very convenient for me as a student, where I could connect with the lecturer or even with the classes or any information needed for the subject pretty pretty easily, actually. To be honest, it's very everything's there. It's just a matter of knowing where to find it. Yeah. So I did, however, struggle with some of the previous subjects I had, which is the finance and accounting subjects. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to do those kind of subjects virtually when it's sort of like studying maths. It's a bit difficult to do it virtually rather than doing it face to face, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so I struggled a bit with those two subjects, but other than that, I think my whole experience here has been very good, even during the pandemic, actually.
Mm-mm. Okay, thank you so much, Daniel. It's quite good to hear both sides. Yeah, one who have just started and one who have put one leg in physical learning and the other leg is in virtual learning. But you are able to balance it both, and it's good that you have found the joy in learning and also sailing through. Okay, some of the viewers have been dropping in and saying hi. Hello, Arif. Hi, Ain. Hi, Sunny. Arif and Sunny are probably one of the I know hardcore supporters of our show, and they're always tuning in. Now, other viewers out there, please say hi, please leave a comment or ask any questions you want to ask, because we have two postgraduate students here. One of them just started, another one is about to finish this year. So if you have any questions, please ask them. And we also have a professor here if you want to ask any questions about doing a postgraduate study right now. Okay, back to you, Prof. Roland, while we wait for the questions to come in. Now, everybody knows we have been in this pandemic for more than a year now. Based on the turn of events, could you share with us whether there is an increase in number of postgraduate students? And based on your observation, what postgraduate programs are in demand right now?
All right. Thanks, Grace, for that. Essentially, it's actually the results are counterintuitive, if you like, in the sense that we didn't expect it, but we find that we are getting more inquiries and more students are signing up, right? Uh, and here's the thing: students are signing up through the normal routes, if you like. Right? They come in, they've got a good degree, and then they come in through that method, if you like. Then we have students who are coming into the FLC. That means there are many students out there now who have got so much experience, right? In managerial experience in whatever they were doing, and they're using that route to come in if they do not have sufficient pre-qualifications. Okay, so inquiries are up, and a lot of interest, happily, right? So the other thing is, as to which particular MBA or which particular program they're interested in, it's really hard to tell. But generally, I notice that people come in for a general MBA, right? Because they already have, many of them, a degree, let's say in engineering or in accounting or in finance, right? So now they come in for a general MBA where they want to get a more of like a broader understanding, a broader spectrum, a broader view of management, right? And what's happening right now, right? And also the other, in terms of postgraduate studies, for the doctoral programs, our PhD programs, also we have not only local but interestingly quite a number of foreign students who come in to do a doctoral program. So the challenge here for doctoral programs is to have a depth of supervisors, right? And Unirazak, to a large extent, we have that DNA actually, in the sense that then we have the depth of expertise in an area to support such doctoral students. So as a result, you find that also the master's programs, they also benefit quite a bit from this. Okay, so I'm happy to share that I think our inquiries are certainly gone up.
Definitely. Yeah, because now, the borders, although the borders have been closed, but the learning borders are open wide, and people all over are tuning in. And I know we've had a couple of classes with China, and as well as a few other countries. So definitely a lot of inquiries are coming in, and students are more keen. Working adults are more keen to do embark in their postgraduate study. Okay, Aizad, back to you. Despite having time flexibility, some might still be hesitant to further their postgraduate studies while still working, as time management can be challenging. Since now, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes it's just no longer 8:30 to 5:30 p.m. It can be early in the morning. It can be till late at night. So somehow the time is quite vague at the moment, and we expected to do stuff at back and call. So what kind of advice could you share to the people who are considering whether or not to pursue their postgraduate studies? And what are some of your tips and tricks to managing your time well and at the same time enjoy your learning journey?
Um, okay, well, studying is fun. Learning something new is fun. My advice is, if you're hesitant whether or not to continue your studies, trust me, guys, do it. If you have the resources, don't waste any more of your time. Just do it. Personally, I feel that
Hi. Um, okay, I'm sorry, but was others able to hear his answer?
yes.
Okay. So
Uh,
I thought what happened is I think you had accidentally mute your mic halfway.
oh,
And
really?
yeah, maybe you could just give
Okay.
us the tail end of what you said.
Okay. So, the tip
The
is,
last part, yeah.
always take a break, as little as
Okay.
every half an hour, maybe. Is your time to manage. Well, you basically morning and evening is working time, and night is my studying time. That's how I allocated the time. So I mean, it's important to take a break for a while and enjoy life. The last thing we want to add during this pandemic is being stressed about it. Just have fun and seek help if you need it. Studying in whatever field opens up your mind and opens possibilities. If you're lazy to do so, there's nothing much I can do because change comes within. It is you who decide what you want to do in life, not others. If financial is the problem, I think UNIRAZA offers financial assistance. Where from
Oh no. Okay. My Okay, right. I'm just gonna cut in. I think yeah, some of the technical difficulties that I think this is very common to happen anywhere. Thank you so much, but I got some gist of it, and I really like what you said about those who are lazy. Just no advice for them. Just do it. Just get up and do it. Well, for those who need financial assistance, yeah, tap into the resources that we have. I do believe that Uniraza at one point of time were giving out scholarships, and also, so just tap into, look for information out there. Everything is at your fingertips right now. So thank you so much for those wise advice. Okay, Danielle. Now, as a graduating MBA student, what are some of the things you've learned throughout your journey here at Uniraza? Do you think that you have gathered more skills and knowledge, especially from experienced lecturers, that are helpful towards expanding your career path?
Uh, what started my journey here in Uniraza was actually about a year in the making or so. Yeah, I was like what one of the person or the examples Aizad mentioned, hesitant to to actually to take the the uh, the leap to do MBA. But I eventually found the courage to do so, and I've honestly learned a lot about not only the subjects but also about myself, especially in terms of critical thinking skills, leadership, as well as most importantly to me actually is time management, because like what he mentioned. Managing your time is actually very difficult, especially when you have lots of other things to juggle as well. I'm really not sure how a lot of them do it. I mean, I honestly struggled a lot. I used to have quite sleepless nights. I wouldn't say sleepless nights, but more like burning the midnight oil for some of the times as well. And especially during the pandemic, work has been a bit difficult as well, where it's been more demanding due to the slow economy as well, and all that. So yeah, studying during a pandemic is it's very challenging, but I would think it's one of my best decisions I ever made, because during this slow of economy, most of the organizations are not really putting more of putting focus into promotions, or to elevate, or to increment for their staff, due to as how the economy is. So I think this is a best time that is to do MBA. So in terms of the skills, yeah, I think time management skills is what I've actually improved a lot on.
Okay, that is actually very good to know, because the struggle is real. I mean, yes, on one hand, we seem to have extra time because we save time on commuting, and things like that. But on the other hand, there's a lot of motivation and self willpower to actually complete your assignments, to attend the lectures when you've already went to 5 Zoom meetings, and then at night you probably have to tune again and look at the laptop again. So I totally understand
Yeah.
where you come from in terms of digital fatigue, or things like that. Willpower is really important, and like you said, time management is very important, to handle all these, and to be almost finishing your final lag in this. Okay. Some comments from TikTok, very interesting. Arif, you have asked a very interesting a question about technology, and I believe Prof, are you able to take this question? Soalan saya adalah saya seorang pekerja sepenuh masa dan seorang pelajar juga. Dalam perundangan adalah pandemic. Okay, I'm just going to say. I think he's asking something about our system of 5G. Do we need to elevate our technology in order to support the learning system in this pandemic, if I'm not mistaken? Actually, anybody can take this question.
I think I can try and do that. But before I answer the question, just now what Daniel talked about taking that leap is correct. And it's a good idea to do that. And time management, is very important because you got to fit in all your programs. And don't forget about Netflix as well. What about those movies? How are you going to watch those movies? Daniel? So anyway, coming back to this question, something about, I'm not sure why you mentioned perundangan. Saya juga dalam perundangan. If you are studying law or you are involved in law, perhaps, it doesn't matter. But the point is, if you need to do it online, it doesn't mean you're going to have a 5G Wi-Fi capacity and so on. I think that's the question really, and to be able to manage that sort of high-end graphics. Not really. I think now with the average Wi-Fi speed, because in Uni Razak, for example, practically all students get online because we work with Google Meet, right, to organize this. So it's already done. So if you have a minimum Wi-Fi requirement, I do not know what the exact specifications are, but certainly I'm proud to say none of my students have issues of connections in that sense, right? So to be able to attend the class, to be able to upload your presentations, to be able to do your graphics on Excel and present that as well, no issues. So if that's the question, then I'm not sure if I've answered that question. Grace, what do you think?
I think you've answered the question pretty fairly. We have sufficient technology to support what we're doing right now to make sure that knowledge is translated efficiently, and as specified by the students here, they have definitely gained quite some skills and as well as knowledge through what we have been doing so far. The lecturers are still working on equipping and also trying to reach out to the younger generation in that terms. We also have been using some other applications in class. Prof Roland and I have been attending trainings on how to make our lecture more interesting, how to cartoonify our face, and how to attract students. And I think we are getting there. We are learning. Everyone is learning. The students are learning, and the lecturers are ahead. They are also trying their level best to do whatever it takes to get all of you on board, interactive, and also to enjoy the lectures. And Prof Roland also has said earlier that students are now opening up more, connecting more, especially in his class, discussing issues, policies, and things like that. So it's really how you make most of what you have at the moment. Yeah. Okay. This is not really a question, it's more of a comment. I'm not sure if she's one of your students, Prof Roland. She says, Prof, why are you looking extra handsome today? Maybe she wants more marks or something. Okay. So I don't know. I think you look good too, Prof.
Oh, thank you very much. I think Daniel and Aizad, well, they're giving me a run for my money.
Okay, and it's a good session that we are having, and I've actually we are keeping up to time, and I'm done with my questions actually. So today there were not many questions from the audience, and so I'm just going to ask Prof Roland the last question here. Before we end, could you share some of the programs offered in Graduate School of Business here at Uniraza, and what are the benefits of pursuing these programs?
I think there's some music in the background or something.
I think we can make do without music.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Maybe the production team. Okay, perhaps because I said we're coming to an end, so they just. Okay, we have one more question actually. So we can make do without the music at the moment, so that Prof. Roland can answer the last question. I'm going
Because
to repeat that.
Yeah, because I don't want to sing the question. I'm going to answer it. No need music.
You may stand up and start dancing as well. Okay. All right. I think the music is off now. So I'm just going to repeat the question. What are some of the programs, postgraduate programs here at Uniraza? And what are the benefits of pursuing these programs?
That's a fairly straightforward question. Good question too, because but firstly, I'll just highlight a few things. One is we have a general MBA program, of course, right? And that gives you a good overview. Then we've got an MBA in services management, right? This enables graduates to perform like service-oriented type managers to develop, how should I say, customer supplier relationship management skills. So that's an MBA in services management. Then we've got an MBA in human resource management, of course, right? And human resource management, I think most of us are aware. It deals with people within the organizations, how to manage that one. We've got a master's in philosophy. We've got a master's in management as well. The MPhil program, for example, in this case, the idea, guys, is to engage students in research to gain an in-depth knowledge in a certain field, to develop their research skills, right? And especially in the area of business and management, right? So that's also very useful. We've got a master's in management, of course, as well, right? To equip people with leadership management skills. So overall, the benefits from all of these programs essentially is the graduates should come out with good organizational communication skills, decision making, and critical analytical thinking. That is crucial. To be able to ask the question why, to be able to say you don't know when you don't know, and then to look for those answers, right? So essentially, all of this key programs, guys, helps to get the student prepared, ready, right, to meet those challenges, right? Both challenges that are there now, currently, and as well as challenges for the future, right? So that's that. In a nutshell, that will be it.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much for clearly putting that out. And if you want information, you can always go to our website, and there are numbers to call. You can just call them up. No worries. Before we end, can I just ask the students to maybe give one last piece of advice to the audience and the future audience? Okay. All right. Never mind. Okay, I think maybe that's my cue to end. So we will just end it now. Thank you so much for coming to the show. All three of you have availed your time, and also I'm sure you have put aside something to do to be able to attend our show today. Thank you, Aizad. Thank you, Daniel, and certainly thank you, Prof. We have just came from a meeting. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. And I would like to wish all our viewers out there, please stay safe, and also please keep yourself updated with all our programs that are happening. Uniraza right now are doing many online programs. We've just did quite a few last week, so stay tuned to what we have to offer. The September intake 2021 is now open, so apply now and grab Uniraza scholarships that is available. And you can go to our website www.uniraza.edu.my. You can also contact us at the number that is down at the screen. Don't forget to follow My Uniraza on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to My Uniraza YouTube channel and stay tuned for more upcoming events. Okay, so the music is getting louder and louder, so we better end up. So true. All right. Thank you and have a good evening, everybody.